ワンピースは実在する。
俺はモンキー D ルフィ。お前らを超えて海賊王になる男だ。
人の夢は終わらねえ。
Welcome
to Nerdville.
We'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious.
Hello there, everyone. I'm Turtles.
And I'm Fanfi. Kizaru has decided to show us the true power of the Pika Pika no Mi by making a fool of Emperor Straw Hat, while Vegapunk decides to risk it all to save a friend.
This week's cover page is actually pretty fun, with Kobe and Helmeppo having their glasses stolen by Tassir monkeys that are kind of, imitating how they are.
The chapter begins where it ends last week. We see a giant Luffy grabbing Kizaru, who seemingly can't escape his grasp. Luffy continues by spinning his arm, preparing a throw, making Kizaru blast off like Team Rocket.
Looks like we're blasting off again!
Luffy bursts out laughing about how far he's thrown him, as someone mentions to leave Kizaru to Luffy and start their plan. Chopper asks Atlas where she is going. She mentions she wants to descend to the lower stratum to override the pacifistas, as their lasers would blow them up the moment the barrier goes down. Pythagoras mentions here that there is no higher authority than the Vegapunks on this island. Suddenly, Stella states his intention to join her. Usopp yells at him, telling him he is the last person that should go there. Stella tells Frankie that Bonnie is stuck at the lower stratum. Frankie responds relieved that she survived being kicked through the barrier. Stella hilariously answers that how could a big adult like him let Bonnie get kicked. Immediately, Sanji jumps in the call by stating he wants to rescue Bonnie, as Jinbei announces that everything is ready to depart. Meanwhile, in the lower stratum, the Marines try to capture Bonnie as a soldier announces she isn't far. A panel reveals Marines turned into children and old men, barely able to hold on to their weapons. While Bonnie is hiding from them, they announce that Sentomaru's body has been discovered and is burned to a crisp. As Bonnie observes him, we get to see how she was able to survive the fall, with Sentomaru summoning the last of his strength to catch her, warning her that the Marines are on their way. While worrying about Sentomaru's fate, she wonders how she's going to get out of this sticky situation.
We cut back to the Labo phase, where Luffy is still bouncing and chilling, while noticing that Zoro is still fighting. His first mate tells him to keep his focus on Kizaru. Zoro and Lucci's duel continues. Even though both fighters seem evenly matched, Zoro states that he is not strong enough to merit a rematch with his captain. Lucci snarls back that the second in command of a Yonko is just as good. As we can see, this fight between Zoro and Lucci seems pretty even. When Zoro was fighting King, it was Enma that pushed him to unlock Conqueror's Haki coding, which he has not yet mastered, where his Haki was gradually drained by his swords. Will Lucci be the opponent to push him to master this new ability? While on Lucci's side, we couldn't really see his progression against Luffy, since the Yonko was toying with him. Zoro is a much better matchup to see Lucci's true strength. We go back to Kizaru, plummeting towards the sea, where he uses his powers to redirect his trajectory. Kizaru charges a massive as he teleports in the same direction as his shot, separating his body into an infinite amount, hiding inside his own attack. Luffy, looking in the distance, notices lights approaching. From the balls of light, Kizaru creates a dozen clones, making Luffy's eyes pop out. Kizaru follows with creating a lightsaber. Kizaru swings his sword, connecting with Luffy, injuring him. Luffy answers back with a Gomu Gomu no Dawn Whip, splitting the clones in half. Luffy starts running away, as he realizes that they are like holograms, and he needs to find the real one. The clones follow Luffy in a straight line, as the cunning Emperor reveals that it was all a ruse, following with an explosive Dawn Stamp, destroying all the clones in one hit. Luffy, very pleased with himself, wonders if he managed to take out the original. Suddenly, he hears a scream coming from the command center. Luffy, dumbfounded, realizes he is the one that has been played, and the Admiral has been ignoring him and going after Vegapunk.
You've got us a real stupid turtle over here.
Oda finally giving Kizaru the respect an admiral deserves. Kizaru has been so impressive, not only with raw feat of strength, but also being able to take Luffy and Sentomaru's attacks seemingly without major issues or any damage taken. We also need to mention that the Pika Pika no Mi is completely busted. Being able to move at the speed of light while accelerating to create even more damage, or create clones that can independently fight and injure a Yonko level character is, for a lack of a better word, ridiculous. Kizaru is proving himself to be one of the strongest characters in the story right now. This also goes to show how competent Kizaru is, since he's able to ignore Luffy while going for his objective, reinforcing the fact that Vegapunk won't get out of here alive. Kizaru is in the command center, holding Usopp, while wondering where Stella has gone to. All of a sudden, a vehicle bursts through the command center, with Atlas and Stella making their escape, as Sanji tells them to let him in as well. Vegapunk states, "You no good marine brigands, don't you dare lay a finger on her," and that he will rescue her. We have said on this channel for over 5 chapters that Stella is definitely gonna die soon. This situation he is putting himself in just goes to show this, as stated by Usopp previously in the chapter. He's putting himself in danger to rescue Bonnie, who he is obviously indebted to because of what he did to her father. He would have no issue sacrificing his life for her. Kizaru is also much too competent to let this mistake slide, and Vegapunk is much too important to be left alive on the Straw Hat ship, even from a narrative standpoint. Luffy screams out, "Old Man Apple, don't go outside, you're gonna die!" Noticing their escape attempt, probably because of Luffy, Kizaru charges one of his beams to assassinate Stella. Luffy, in the nick of time, jumps in front, eating the beam. Screaming in pain that it is too hot, as Luffy is absorbing Kizaru's attack, Frankie jumps on, while Stella tells them to use the Shogun to escape with the ship.
An urgent update is announced to the Marines, stating that Vegapunk has made it to the lower floor. We observe Pythagoras, who informs the pair of Vegapunks that he has partially disabled the Frontier Dome. As the vehicle rolls down to the lower stratum, Atlas yells out a new command for the pacifistas to eradicate the Marines, ending with an ominous panel of Saturn foreshadowing what is to come. As we alluded in our chapter 1091 review, Saturn has the power to end this quickly but doesn't want his presence known. Pythagoras saying that Vegapunks are the highest authority is just wrong, since we know that the Gorsim members have a higher authority. This foreshadows Saturn's inevitable arrival to the battlefield, since he can't allow pacifistas to eradicate his troops. This might give us the opportunity to see a member of the 5 elders use their mythical Zoan fruit. At the end of the previous chapter, the giant robot of dreams awakened. It seems very likely that after the intervention of Saturn to gain the control of the PX forces, this robot will be the only means of escape. In our previous chapter review, we stated that the giant robot of dreams was a reference to Ted Hughes' fable, The Iron Giant, and how a story of a young boy finding a giant robot and trying to protect it from the government could give us an insight on Vegapunk's backstory. Perhaps Vegapunk found the robot as a young boy and is the source of inspiration for all his inventions. Especially since chapter 1067, we saw Vegapunk say that the world government has no idea that the robot was there, giving evidence that he has been keeping this a secret. We think that the giant robot of dreams will appear to save the day. Just as Vegapunk is dying after having to protect Bonnie, his dream will come true, witnessing the giant robot resonating with Gear 5, showing him that the power source that he's been searching for his entire life are the drums of liberation themselves. This is our review of chapter 1093 of One Piece. Let us know if you think that Vegapunk is done for.
Hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to leave a comment, positive or negative, we just need the engagement.
See you next time.
Peace out!